Valerie Dirksen, thank you for being with us here at Téléimage. Thank you for your time. Tell us about your work in Haiti. When did you started working in Haiti? And it seems that you're going to take us back to 2010, 2011. One more time, welcome and thank you for sharing your story here at Téléimage.
Well, thank you for having me, Valeria. I really appreciate your time and your interest in my work in Haiti. I was introduced to Haiti on January 12th, 2010 through my church. My church had invited me to a meeting on, they had invited a dance group that was run out of an orphanage in Port-au-Prince on 91 Delmas. And it was run by an American brother with the Missionaries of Charity. He had previously worked with Mother Teresa, so he proclaimed, and they asked if I would help. I'm a 3-time Paul Harris Fellow. I'm a real estate broker. I'm dialed into the community, and I think they thought that I had a lot to offer. In addition to that, I went to school in Europe. I went to school in Germany. I speak Dutch and German fluently, and and a working knowledge of French. We had to take it in school. So I think they thought that I would be a natural for helping bring this group to Georgia. So I arrived at the meeting 15 minutes early and no one was there. So I was prepared for the meeting and people started walking in, later, an hour or so delayed. And I was very prepared for how are we going to bring this group to Georgia? Where are we going to have them perform? How are we going to do it? And so shortly after the meeting did eventually get started, they decided that I should be the chair of the committee, which I thought was interesting because I've never been to Haiti. I didn't have any Haitian friends at that point, and I really knew very little about Haiti. But nonetheless, I felt very committed to helping orphans in what they were calling the poorest of the poor country. And I felt very committed to, especially they had just lost their home and they had had a lot of trauma. And I was very committed to what they seemed to be all about. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Okay, very well. But let's understand first that you are taking this group to Haiti. But you're talking about Georgia. So you're meeting in Georgia. Then from Georgia, you will be heading to Haiti. And the idea of this group that I'm going to ask you to give us more details about, more information if you do have, they want to go to Haiti to help out. They are a group of people or a church organization. Who are they?
No, I think you're confused. So okay. the Haitian Timoun Foundation is based here in Suwanee, Georgia. And they've since moved. They were originally in Colorado. Now they're in Ohio. But the Haitian Timoun Foundation was based at my church, Epiphany Lutheran Church in Suwanee, Georgia. And they were sponsoring this Resurrection Dance Theater that was run out of the St. Joseph's Home for Boys at 91 Delmas in Haiti. The troupe comes to the United States multiple times a year, travels 2 or 3 months at a time, and they raise funds. It's a fundraising tour. They raise funds for the orphanage and the work that they do. The revenue on that orphanage was between $3 and $10 million for 30 years. So it was a big income generator. And so they asked me, and my first introduction was on the night of the earthquake. They asked me if I wouldn't help promote it in Georgia. So at this point, I have not been to Haiti. I was just introduced to Georgia. They were coming to Georgia. They were going to be here for 2 weeks. We had them perform at different venues, schools, churches, Coca-Cola. And I was all instrumental in helping coordinate that and their visit to Georgia.
But you mentioned a few numbers here. I mean, big numbers of dollars. You said that the orphanage is run. I mean, the $3 million for a year. That's what you said. What is that? Let's come back to that part. The money.
Okay,
part.
So what I've since discovered is that the orphanage business in Haiti is a $3.27 billion business. It's unregulated and tax-free, run by 501c3s out of the United States. And sadly,
So
of the
you mean,
750,
Valerie,
yes,
you understand, I mean, sorry about that, but it's such a big number that you mentioned. So let's go back to this. $3.2 billion, that's how much money is being spent. I mean, let's
it's
stay a
being
little bit on that.
raised.
Explain to
Yes,
us what
so,
is being raised
okay,
for orphanage in Haiti.
yes, yes,
3.2
there are
billions? Billions. You said billions of dollars.
billions with a B. Yes, it's a very, very big number. And it's sad because most of the orphanages, of the 750 orphanages in Haiti, only 35 are registered. They're only licensed. Only
Okay.
35 are licensed. So these orphanages are collecting millions and millions of dollars. And just like St. Joseph's Home for Boys, Wings of Hope, Trinity House,
Okay.
they're raising millions of dollars by well-intended North Americans, and oftentimes they aren't
By donors,
orphans.
people that want to help and that are actually contributing to
Yes,
their. I understand.
yes.
May I ask you, Valerie, where do you get those numbers? Where would you? I mean, it's so numbers are too high here.
It's
It's really astonishing, and I'm like, wow. So where do you get
uh-huh.
those type of information?
So if you look, the Bien-être Social did a report of all the orphanages in Haiti, and the last one that I have
Okay.
is 2013. So it's an estimate, and it's thought to be very conservative. So in other words, it's thought to be perhaps more. You have to understand these are income generators. People use them as guest houses. People come to stay there. They don't have background checks. For example, at the St. Joseph's Home for Boys, NAMBLA stayed at the house. NAMBLA is North American Man-Boy Love Association. They advocate for lowering the age of consent for sex. So in other words, if a 40-year-old man wants to have sex with an
Really?
8-year-old boy, it's good because, it's just love. And so they stayed at the house. When in fact, when their founder died, when he passed away, in lieu of flowers, he asked for donations to St. Joseph's Home for Boys. So here's another example. In February 13th of this year, there was an orphanage fire in Fermat, an orphanage that had been in existence for over 30 years. And that orphanage had, according to their 990 tax forms, they had revenue of $6 million. They had assets of $8 million, and they had 5 airplanes. Now,
5 year
I don't know.
plans.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the numbers are 6 million revenues, 3 millions to run the orphanage, and we do remember this was in the news all over the country here, the fire that happened in Fermat, as you mentioned. This orphanage where those kids, those poor kids, they died. I think 11 or 15 of them. We'll come to that. So you're talking about that orphanage. So
So that's just
much
one
money to run
example. Yeah,
those. Yeah.
that's just one example. But if you see the conditions, that orphanage in particular that we're talking about in Fermat, it has not been licensed since 2013. Their license was revoked because of multiple times failing inspections, deplorable conditions. Most of the children were not orphans. They were children that stayed there. Maybe their parents dropped them off for, someone to pay for their school. It's a commodity. Really, it's trafficking. Really, it's trafficking.
Trafficking. Wow. These are
And
okay.
it's
These are actually big accusation. I would say, Valerie. Allow me to say that. And we're very interested into that because as we know, it's been going around the world. People know about it, and now we're talking about Haiti, our homeland, our country, and the viewers that are watching now are now more interested to hear you because you're pointing out these orphanage and this business that's actually going on in Haiti. Let's go on with the story. So go back to the group that you took to Haiti. You going to Haiti in 2010 or 11 after the earthquake.
So I first actually, so getting back to how I got involved in Haiti. So I was in charge of that Resurrection Dance Theater coming here and performing for 2 weeks in 2010. They came back in 2011, And that's when I was made aware of what was happening at that orphanage, that the orphanage the founder had been accused over 10 times in 30 years of sexually, emotionally, and physically abusing the children in his care. And I became very alarmed. I had no idea this level of things were possible in the world. And that's my older son. And he's the one who informed me. I will say my older daughter, my biological daughter, the minute she saw this person, Michael Geilenfeld, in 2010, she was very quiet. When we got into and my whole house had been Resurrection Dance Theater headquarters. So it was kind of strange because when we got in the car, she said, "Mom, that man is evil." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "He's just, there's something about him, Mom. It's not right. It's bad. I don't know, but he's an evil man." And I didn't believe her. I said, "That's terrible. Don't say that. He's donated his whole life to help the poorest of the poor. And he's got an orphanage for, street children in Haiti," which is not true. So anyway, I didn't find out about this until the following year in 2011. In 2011, the Resurrection Dance Theater again. And again, I was involved. I was the co-chair with another gal. And we performed at Coca-Cola, for example. We got a $10,000 check from them. And my now son was asking me every day. He would get in the car when we would have to go travel to a performance, and every day he was asking me about scholarships and school. And I said, school? What are you talking about? Michael, in his speech, his talk that he gives, he always says 100% of every dollar that's donated is given to the children of Haiti. It pays for their school, it pays for their room and board, soccer, music lessons, art lessons. Everything's wonderful at this house. And I said, "I don't understand." And he said, "Well, all I know is I have to pay for my own school. And can you help me? Can you help me fill out an application? I've tried to do it. Do you have to pay to do it?" I said, "No, that's not how scholarships work." I said, "Boy, I'd love to help you, but I really I don't have the time because I've been off for 2 weeks, here, and I've got to go back to my office. I've got work to do." I said, "But I'll tell you what, I'll ask my daughter. She's in college and she has a laptop. Maybe she could pick you up, take you to Starbucks. And once you do a couple of the applications and see how they work, maybe you could do them on your own." And so I said, "Well, I'll ask her. I don't know. I can't be sure she'll be able to help you." But anyway, she agreed to meet him. I said, "Look, this is all you. Don't be calling me and asking me for addresses and numbers and whatever else. You take ownership of this." And so I said, "Do not call me because I'm super, super busy and I can't have calls with, frivolous questions." And so she picked him up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And by 11 o'clock, she's calling me. And she said, "Mom, I told you that man was evil." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And so she said, "I don't even want to say. I want you to ask him because I know you always ask a million questions, and I want you need to go to lunch with us, and you need to find out yourself." And so I called my friend from Chicago, who's a charge nurse, and I said, "Hey, I guess we're about to hear something. Can you go with me?" We went to lunch, and I said, "Okay, what's the skinny?" And he said, "Well, Michael likes boys." I said, "He likes boys? What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, he likes boys." I said, "Okay."
No, you're talking about
and
who?
He's been
You're talking about Michael.
Michael Geilenfeld. So,
Okay.
long
So
story
who's telling
short,
you that Michael, this gentleman, Michael Geilenfeld, likes boys? Who's telling you that?
this is my now son.
I understand. So let's mention also in the story that you adopted two kids from Haiti, two boys.
Correct. And
Okay, that's one of them telling you about Michael.
Correct. And so I didn't even believe it, honestly. I couldn't quite handle that. So I went back to my office. My friend said she's going to verify. She'll let me know. And I looked at my computer and I just did a simple Google search, Michael Geilenfeld abuse Haiti, and then bam, there it all was. Mary Colehouse from 1990. She referenced different abuse allegations from earlier, 87. Then there was the Karen Davis accusations from 95 in Detroit, and they referenced accusations in Boston and so forth. So it was in Haiti and Boston and so forth. And I still didn't quite, even though it was very graphic and very well written, I didn't quite believe it. And so I Google searched Mary Colehouse and I found her. She's in Minnesota, and she's a youth pastor with the, so she's a lay minister with the Catholic Church, and she's a mandatory reporter. So if you read her testimony, she talks about going down there in 1990 and children in the house coming to her and explaining what's going on in the house, this abuse, graphically, okay, and who's staying at the house and people, that visitors to the house, and they're abusing them and so forth. And so I called her, half expecting her to say, look, I don't know anything about that, and I don't, that's not my testimony. Left a message for her, and she called me back. And she said, Valerie, I said, is it true? And she said, every word is true. She said, my phone rings 3 and 4 times a month, and the victims still contact me. They still reach out to me through social media, and I believe that Michael is still abusing children in his home. So, of course, I was
You're talking his
very
home in Haiti.
Yes.
And the victims are obviously Haitians in Haiti calling and reporting the abuses.
Correct. So in 1995, that's a really sad story. In 1995, the Resurrection Dance Theater was traveling to Detroit, Michigan. They were going to perform at Marymount College, which is a Catholic university. And a few of the boys spoke to some of the professors or teachers and said that they were abused by Michael. They had a Haitian psychologist or psychiatrist, Dr. Elsie, interview them. They had a guardian ad litem appointed from the court. They were examined by medical doctors, and they were found to have been abused sexually, emotionally, and physically. And the judge in the case, it was 1995. It was a different day. And he had a difficult time because he found that the children had been abused, as all these people were ready to testify. But in fact, they were abused in Haiti. He couldn't find that they were abused or had any proof that they were abused in the United States. And so he reached out to the consulate at the time in Chicago, and he said, look, I have this case with these abused children that are orphans, and this American is in charge of them. He's the guardian, and they're traveling outside the country, and they're minors, which fits the description of trafficking. But anyway, let's not get to there. And he said, I've got a problem because this was all done in Haiti. And the consulate in Chicago at the time, 1995, said, oh my goodness, terrible, awful, horrible. Go ahead and send them back with Michael, give them back guardianship back to Michael Geilenfeld, the accused, and send them back to Haiti. And I assure you, we're going to do a complete investigation with our IBESR. IBESR at the time was run by Madame Dijon. Madame Dijon was known to frequent Michael's house. She would come every couple of weeks to get a little something, little paycheck, I don't know how much it was, but she was known to show up every couple of weeks for some money. So so the children came back, and excuse me, the children came back to Haiti. Madame Dijon set them up, lined them all up, put Michael in the room, and she said, hey, I understand you've reported something in the States when you were traveling. What do you have to say for yourself? And of course, everybody had their head down and nobody said a thing. And she said, that's what I thought. She lined them all up, and she had them all kiss Michael on the cheek and say, thank you very much, Ange Michel, for everything that you've done for us. So the damage done to those victims right there is untold. I met Madame Dijon in 2015 when I went to Haiti. because she was one of the first
Okay.
people I wanted to talk to. And
Who is she
of
again,
course, she had
Madame
no
Desjans? Who is she? She's responsible. She's still responsible for this office in Haiti.
IBESR. No, she's since retired. She retired a couple of years ago, and the person who's responsible
Okay.
is a lady by the name of Madame Ariel Villadouin.
Okay.
And
Ariel
Madame
Villadouin.
Villadouin, yeah. So she's new. She was new. She's no longer new, but she's been there a good amount of time. And I think she started off running. I think she was very serious. But she claims they don't have the funding in Haiti for regulating the orphanage business. And so that's why most of them are unlicensed, and that's why most of them are living in squalid conditions. So,
Very well.
2018, I went to meet with, I was in Washington, D.C. to meet with various lawmakers about this problem in Haiti. And I met with the legislative aide for Marco Rubio, and I gave them all the information and so forth. And that was a Tuesday. By Thursday, Marco Rubio was down meeting coincidentally with Jovenel Moise. So after that, I received an email from the legislative aide saying, look, Valerie, don't worry. We are aware of this problem. Everybody's aware of this major trafficking problem in orphanages in Haiti and the multi-million-dollar business. And we've appropriated $24 million to IBESR to help combat trafficking. $24 million, I think, is more than enough to regulate and license in Haiti. So you see,
Okay.
the
That money
biggest
was
problem
given
is
to the
to the
office in
government
Haiti
of
to regulate the orphanage in Haiti. Okay. Very well.
the problem of the trafficking. So, it's a big problem. It's well known. It's well established. There's been several busts. There was one at the Calico Beach in 2018 during the Super Bowl
Yes, we remember
weekend.
the Calico Beach.
Yes.
What do you know about the
So,
Calico Beach incident?
okay, so the Calico Beach incident is not unusual to the trafficking that's happening in Haiti. What happened was they had some foreigners that had boats. They docked them off, or they anchored them off the coast there in the Calico Beach area. Some handlers went and rounded up children in that general vicinity. They offered them a day at the spa. They brought them there, they bathed them, they put them in white clothing, they were going to drug them, they were going to bring them on speedboats over to the boats, and then they were going to traffic them. So I know some people that were there during that bust, and they were very disappointed that the commissaire de gouvernement allowed the foreigners to leave, and the only people arrested were the Haitians.
Yes, I remember that case very well. Valerie, real quick, when you're talking about trafficking, what are you referring to? Is it
Okay,
sexual trafficking? Let's be
okay.
specific here.
Okay, so trafficking there's three types of trafficking. There's sex trafficking, there's organ trafficking, and there's labor trafficking. And all three of those are happening in Haiti right now.
All three of those are happening in Haiti.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioning through the orphanage, because there's a lot of money. You're talking about billions of dollars in this orphanage business. Let's call it, quote unquote, a business that's established in Haiti, run by someone like Michael Gallenfield. How did they call him? Why is that Michael? Let me ask you now that question. What's going on with Michael? Because I see you have a document here that you're showing that you're taking him to court. What's going on with Michael himself?
Okay, so Michael Geilenfeld, so in 2015, I went to Haiti and under the premise of meeting with the justice minister at the time, Justice Minister Casimir, because there had been a case that had been dismissed in that spring of 15, where an older group of victims had accused Michael of sexually abusing them and a slew of other crimes. They were represented by an attorney, Gentil, out of Cap-Haïtien. Attorney Gentil was not a member of the bar of Port-au-Prince, and so therefore, when they called the case, they didn't have to send it to his office. And so unless I don't know if you've been to the parquet or not, I was just there a couple of weeks ago. It's very noisy. It's disorganized. And unless you just happen to be standing out in front of his office, you would miss the call. So they were calling him. And then what Judge Roosevelt did was he dismissed the case and he allowed Michael to go be released because Michael spent 237 days in the penitentiary in Haiti.
Oh, so he was arrested in Haiti and was in jail.
Correct,
What
but that
year
was
was
not
that?
any. That was in 2014 to 15. It was 237 days. It was October of 14 that he was apprehended, and then he stayed in there
Now-
till the spring.
Okay, very good. So he has been released, and where is
that's
he
when I
now?
can-
Let's put this in
Okay,
perspective.
so-
Where is Michael?
Okay, so that was in the spring of 15. And then in the fall of 15, in September of 15, I went to Haiti to meet with Justice Minister Casimir. And my premise was no Haitian must know about what's going on in these orphanages. No father would allow this. No one. No one that I know with a heart would allow this. And so I had this idea that I was going to meet with the Justice Minister, Casimir. And in fact, a man by the name of Stanley Lucas, I had been in conversations with him. He had arranged a meeting for me to meet with, supposedly, he told me, to meet with all these people. And Stanley Lucas is interesting because Stanley Lucas is also connected to Michael Geilenfeld. He was the karate instructor for Michael Geilenfeld for a number of years. So what Michael would do is he would have the boys, these young men, fight karate style for the visitors for entertainment. Now, I don't know about you, but that would really upset me, okay? To see children fighting for entertainment, that would not be entertaining to me. That's very strange. So that always really bothered me.
Let's pause a minute on that one here. Stanley Lucas, who's in Washington, D.C., he's known to be there, works with the government, the Haitian government, and whom I know Stanley. He's known in the community. So he's connected to Michael Geilenfeld, who's actually doing all this trafficking in Haiti.
Correct.
That connection. How do you connect Stanley with Stanley Lucas? Let's mention that. Stanley Lucas connection with Michael Geilenfeld.
Okay, so some of the older victims, when I was looking into this since 2011, some of the older victims mentioned that Stanley Lucas knew about all of the abuse that was going on in that house and that I should reach out to him. So I did reach out to him. He's on the radio a good bit and so forth. And so I spoke to him a lot. And he said that it was a very hard problem to fix, but that he, of course, wanted to have justice and whatever. And so in September of 15, he supposedly had arranged to have me meet with all these people in Haiti. And then I got down to Haiti and then he didn't answer my phone call. And so I had to figure it all out myself, which of course I did.
Okay. So he doesn't answer the phone call. That means he's cutting you loose here. You're on your own.
Correct.
When was the last
down
time
in
you
Haiti.
spoken to Stanley Lucas? When was the last? That was what year?
Let me see. It was probably 2018. Probably
2018.
October, November.
All right.
October, November of 2018. He promised me that he was going to help, and it was quite a heated conversation. I think we ended the conversation with him saying, "That's why no one likes to work with you, Valerie." And I'm like, okay. A day is a lifetime for these victims. These victims have testified and testified and testified. I think one of the victims, the younger victims in the arrest warrant, who testified in the arrest warrant that I have, they summed it up like this: do people not believe us? Are we not believable?
Mm-hmm.
We've been asked to jump higher. Tell this person, tell a judge, tell an attorney, tell the police, tell the DCPJ, tell the protection of minors. Who else do we need to tell? We had to be examined by a psychiatrist. We had to be examined by 3 different doctors, which, by the way, is not fun for a young man. You know, what else do we have to do to get some attention and to get some justice? So I am very proud of the younger group of victims. I'm proud of all the victims because Michael, with the grooming techniques that he used, he did damage. He did a lot of damage, psychological damage to these people, and they're hurt, you know, they're harmed. Mm-hmm. So I'm very proud of them for being able to stand up and ask for justice and wanting, and most importantly, wanting this to stop, completely wanting it to stop, which is what my older son said to me. We just want it to stop completely. And I just don't know, based on all the time that I've spent on this problem in Haiti, I don't know that that's going to be possible because there's so many people that are involved.
So many people involved. Wow, Valerie Dirksen, you are, it's a lot of information and accusation, I would say. Your names are being said in this interview that it's very interesting. We're going to take a break and come back because I want you to come back this time to put this in perspective where we, the Haitian viewers, Haitian, you know, living abroad, Haitian in Haiti as well, maybe some official of the government are watching this interview here. We want to speak to them and see what we can do with this case here. I want to get involved myself. Teleimage wants to get involved and bring the light to these cases. And we want to find out where is this Michael Gallenfield that you've been talking about, connection with Stanley, Luca, and so on and so on. My God. It's a lot. So allow me to take a break. We're going to take a break with you. And let me switch with my Creole speaking real quick so I can put this in perspective for our viewers that are maybe not understanding the entire part of this interview. Dame ça qui se parle avec nous là, c'est Valerie Dirksen que moi rencontré à travers 11 ans moi qui lui-même tout est fait interview déjà avec elle, qui a dénoncé des abus sexuels, trafic d'organes, trafic sexuel qu'a fait en Haïti dans ce moment-là. Il a accusé un monsieur qui est Michael Gallenfield, qui lui-même, et nous avons papier côte là, que le bas nous là, nous allons le montrer sous écran, côté que la mené monsieur ça dans côte, parce que monsieur ça, d'après Valerie Dirksen, qui s'est invité nous journée jeudi, c'est un monsieur qui a abusé Timon, petit garçon en Haïti, et c'est dans òfelina en Haïti que Jean d'abus ça a fait. Il continuait pour l'avancer, pour l'expliquer que la travail, la fait va-et-vient en Haïti depuis 2010-2011. N'a pas pause avec Valérie parce que causer en pile, sous pot de courir à chaise bar pour chita attendre suivre l'émission ça, fait malheureusement interview a fait en anglais. This interview is entirely in English and I'll try my best to come back and give you a little bit in Creole. So stay put, stay right here because there are a lot more coming up with our guest Valerie Dirksen. You're watching Teleimage.
Disponible à la parfumerie de Barbara. Placez vos commandes en appelant au 516 805 2318. La célébration des fêtes de fin d'année se fait avec des cadeaux à la parfumerie de Barbara, située au 1935 Grand Avenue à Baldwin, Long Island. Offrez des cadeaux de valeur en panier ou en set, des parfums de grandes marques avec la signature de grands couturiers de la mode, des produits cosmétiques français et européens, des produits de beauté venant de laboratoires spécialisés, la poudre pour le visage de la fameuse marque Bourgeois, les déodorants antiperspirants 24 heures sur 24 sans aluminium, les eaux de toilette, les produits bien-être de toutes les senteurs, les savons naturels parfumés, crème pour le corps parfumé ou non pour les peaux sensibles. Tout cela en panier cadeau rempli de bonnes choses préparées spécialement par Barbara. Alors ne perdez plus de temps, dès maintenant formez le 516 805 2318. 516 805 2318 pour placer vos commandes à la parfumerie de Barbara.
We are back after the break. Again, let me remind you that our guest today is Valerie Dirksen. And Valerie is telling her story about her work in Haiti, the experience she had working with orphanage in Haiti. Let me also remind you that Valerie had adopted 2 Haitian kids in Haiti. They are her son, living with her now. And she is telling these amazing stories that we are hearing from firsthand from her. Of course, we've heard some rumors, some allegations going on about Haiti and sex trafficking, organs trafficking. And here we are now with Valerie Dirksen telling us what she's been facing. And the story is amazing, Valerie. And you spoke about this gentleman. I'm not going to call him a gentleman. Let me just call him Michael. Michael Gallenfield. Where is Michael? We need to find Michael. Let's come back to the story.
So,
and this
yes.
time, we wanna stay with Michael because we're gonna, if we have to find him again, we got to do so. And along with the connection he had, you also mentioned Stanley Luca, who was one of his connections in Haiti. So let's go back to the story. Tell us now about Michael Gallenfield. Where is he? Let's start with that.
Okay, so in 2015, I went down there with the intention of, through Stanley Lucas, of meeting with the Justice Minister and the Attorney General and just bringing to their attention that this is happening to Haitian children in orphanages, and they have an oath of office that they need to adhere to, and that they need to do something, and that I'm here on behalf of those children and the parents that can't show up. And so that was September. By October of that year, we got a search warrant from Ocnam Damius for, because he had minors illegally, let me back up. In January of 14, IBESR had closed the home down to minors because of repeated violations and complaints that they had received. And they were closed down to minors because they had had all these complaints. And so by October of 15, we were aware of 2 or 3 children that were in the home. We went to the commissaire de gouvernement, Ocnam Damius. We explained that situation. He was well aware that Michael had spent 237 days in the Haitian penitentiary in Port-au-Prince. And he said that's a violation of his ordonnance de renvoi. And if I'll give you a search warrant, and if you go there with judges and police officers and you find, they said, how many minors do you think? And I said, well, I've been told 3, but this is my intelligence. I don't know. Could be 2, maybe it's 1. And he said, I want to make it really easy. He's not allowed to be around even 1. So the search warrant was for 1. They found 3 children, minors, coming home to the home that were staying at the home. And we took it back to Ocnam Damius, and he issued the arrest warrant. And that was October of 2015. That was signed by Chief Magistrate Abner Emile. And it led ultimately to a red Interpol arrest warrant. And so he currently has an active arrest warrant in Haiti for rape, sexual aggression, and abuse of title.
Where did the raid happen? Sorry about that. Let's go back.
It happened, yes.
The raid happened
it happened in Haiti at DCPG. Judge
DCPG
Abner.
did the
Yes.
Okay.
So, so he, in addition to that, I had gone to Casimir, the justice minister, and pleaded for the older group of victims to have an appeal to their case that had been dismissed by the Judge Roosevelt. And Casimir agreed, and they put it in front of the 3-judge panel. The victims showed up every time they were asked to show up, and Michael had his director show up, but Michael wouldn't show up because he knew if he did, he would be arrested. So rather than be arrested, in December, he ran away to the Dominican Republic, where he met his man-wife. His name is Brunel Ezra. Brunel Ezra is charged with stabbing one of my younger victims when they were a minor in the house. He runs this orphanage for Haitian refugee children in a town called Anamuya. Anamuya is north of Igwe, which is north of Punta Cana. When I found out about this, I was obviously very upset that, you know, he's definitely going to be a repeat offender, and any children that are around him I would consider to be in danger. So went back to the Haitian authorities, spent a lot of time at that parquet. I was just there for 2 weeks. I spent far too much time at that parquet. They, you know, went back and forth. Apparently we couldn't do anything. They don't have extradition. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, they share an island, but they don't talk, you know, but we do know through the Clifford Brandt case that they do bring people to the border. So a friend of mine arranged for me to...
In the case of Clifford Brandt, they had him back from the back
exactly.
to Haiti.
So we know it's possible.
Okay. In Michael's case, real quick, let me ask you this. Do you think, according to you, that's maybe you telling us here, do you think Michael is well connected? He has money, he's giving money around, so they're not able to find him, arrest him, and even, you know, get him back to Haiti? That's why he's able to stay in the air. What do you think?
Well, I think that he's still fundraising. He has a fundraiser in Canada and in Texas that's supporting that home in the Dominican Republic. But further than that, he is still collecting money for his homes in Haiti. So he has a Wings of Hope in Jacmel. It used to be the Trinity House. Wings of Hope used to be up in Vermont, not too far from where that orphanage fire was. And the 91 Delma, St. Joseph Home for Boys that was closed down, is now a school, which is a violation. That money was donated to build that facility for the children of Haiti, not to be a for-profit school that someone's making money on. So I just visited a couple of weeks ago. And it's very disturbing because no maintenance is being done on it and so forth. And this is only one example of what's happening at these orphanages. I mean, when I met with Madame Villadouin, she said, Valerie, the challenge is we close one down, they move around the corner and they do the same thing. They change their name, whatever. They still have the support from the United States. They're 501c3s. They have to fill out 990s. This is part of the problem because it's really and truly it's unregulated. And you know, these are children that we're talking about. This is an apolitical problem. This is a humanitarian problem, and we should all be fighting as hard as we can for this. So Michael ran away and correct.
And
so
let's
Michael
also
ran away.
mention, Valerie, that you're talking only about boys here. These are boys, young boys, you know, kids.
And no one wants to
teenagers.
talk about the boys. No one wants to talk about the boys. Boys go underreported because they're so embarrassed. And I know from the group of victims that I've spoken with, you know, there's guilt associated with it. You know, why did he pick me? I'm not gay. I don't like this or whatever. So there's a lot of psychological trauma that they have suffered, which has caused our psychiatrist Wilcox Toyo would tell us, it's caused a mental health crisis really for Haiti because these people grow up and they have this trauma and it affects them their whole life. But December 15, he runs away to the Dominican Republic. In March of 17, from December 15 to March of 16, he accuses me and the younger group of victims that have the arrest warrant for being a gang, I'm a gang leader, and a bunch of other very colorful things that are horrible about me. And so that was at Judge Fanfan's instruction court. And so all the victims went there. They were accompanied by their attorney, Jackie Pierre. At the time, he was president of the Bar of Coatabuque. so a prominent attorney in the community. And Judge Fan said he understood what was happening. I testified in May of 16, and I told him of a rape of a handicapped girl that had just been reported down in Jacmel at the Wings of Hope. He was mortified. He said he was going to do something about it, and then a whole bunch of nothing happened. So 18 months later, I find myself in Judge Fan's office, and I say, Judge Fan, I'm not coming back here again. You have to decide up or down if we're a gang and I'm a gang leader. Because last time I checked, gang leaders don't send their kids to college and send their kids to school. I have a better record in the small time that I've been involved in Haiti in terms of graduations than Michael does in 30 years. Now, if you were to say that to Michael, what he would say is the children are damaged and that's why they can't perform in school, but that's just not true. And it's not fair to the children.
Okay.
But, you know, it's like the victims have told me, everybody will believe Michael over them all day long. You know, when I reported this to our pastor, he said, don't you know, this is just crick crack. Every Haitian is a liar, cheater, and a stealer. I said, Pastor Rick, what do you mean? 2 weeks ago, we were laying hands on them and saying, brother, we've got your back. Did you not mean that? You see how it goes? You understand how it goes?
Yes.
So that was
March.
March, and then 18 months later, the following year in June of 17, I got those charges dismissed. And I know it struck a nerve with Michael and his directors, because of course Michael didn't do the charges. He had his directors do it, which a lot of them are victims of Michael as well. They grew up in that home. So he, you know, whatever he says goes. And so they went to the radio and we're talking about those charges being dismissed. I went to my attorney, Jackie Pierre, and I told him that he needed, I mean, they can't go on the airwaves and say disparaging things about me and the victims. Not to mention that was a bullying technique used with those victims. And Jackie called the attorney, but at the end of the day, he decided it was his friend and he wasn't going to do anything about it. So, you know, with limited funds, I would still like to charge each one of those directors for, you know, for what they did, false charges against me. But, you know, there's only so many resources. But anyway, so then I went down to, I met with my Congressman Woodall, and he arranged for me to meet with the Citizen Services at the U.S. Embassy in Haiti. And I met with them, and I brought all the information. I brought a victim, I brought the psychologist, I brought an attorney, I brought a judge, and I brought a translator. And I was kind of put off because the lady's name was Ashley Bordner. And Ashley said, well, we're doing construction on the embassy. It's the 4th largest embassy in the world. But anyway, and we met in the cafeteria. And I said, well, this is a very sensitive topic. And I have a victim with me. I'm not real comfortable discussing this. So the victim really didn't speak. And the attorney and the judge were very happy with, you know, how I presented it, but we spent a good hour on it and describing it. And because when Michael was released from jail in the spring of 15, then Justice Minister Casimir asked him to surrender his passport because he said he spent a lot of resources on getting Michael into jail for the 237 days, and that you know, he didn't want him to flee, that they were going to look at this for an appeal. And somehow, miraculously, Michael was issued another passport. The ambassador was Pamela White. So clearly she was the one who could override that. Yeah, so Pamela White issued the passport for Michael.
Yes, she was the
allowing
ambassador
him,
then.
Yes.
So Michael was able to get another passport, U.S. passport.
Correct.
By the ambassador, Pamela White, at the time.
Correct.
Okay.
So, you know, he, like I said, in December of 15, he ran away to the Dominican Republic, where he set up an orphanage in Anamuya. Again, after meeting with the after meeting with the U.S. Embassy, I met with that trip. I met with the U.S. Embassy. I met with Police Chief Gédéon, and I met with Normal Rameau at the DCPJ. That's where I became first aware that there was a red Interpol arrest warrant. But I didn't really trust that because they wouldn't let me take a picture of it. So I didn't know for sure. And so after that meeting, the following year, so we're getting into 18, 19, I went to the Dominican Republic where I met with law enforcement and Interpol, and they confirmed that it was a valid arrest warrant and that it was in fact a red Interpol arrest warrant, which is the highest arrest warrant. And they said no one has ever handed them a complete investigation like I did. They appreciated that. They said they have a huge problem with trafficking in the Dominican Republic. And they have a big problem with organ trafficking, specifically amongst refugees, Haitian refugees, because they don't have any papers and they're easy to traffic. So, of course, I was very sad with that. But I said, look, we've got to get justice for these victims who have fought long and hard to see justice for their abuser. And they agreed. And so 2 or 3 weeks later, they apprehended Michael Geilenfeld at the market in Higüey. They took him back to Santo Domingo, where they kept him for 3 weeks, waiting because they don't have extradition to Haiti. They were waiting for Homeland Security to pick him up. Homeland Security had an active case that they were looking at. The case was run out of the Miami office, Cyber Crimes Unit, the same one that looked into the Jeff Epstein case. Because that's the port of entry, Miami would be where they would do that. So I'm not happy that this has taken this long.
Okay.
But I understand, he's been accused so many times. There's been so many people that have blocked these investigations in the past. The U.S. Embassy has known about all this for years. Justice people amongst the justice ministries in Haiti through the years. Stanley Lucas is an advisor he was an advisor to Martelli. I think he's still an advisor to Jovenel. He knows about all of this. So I feel like he could have stepped in a lot more and a lot harder than he has. And I'm very, very disappointed that he hasn't, because he knows firsthand, having been in that home, what's going on and what Michael has done to these children that were in his care. So I'm very disappointed in that. So he was apprehended. They waited for 3 weeks. Homeland Security was told they don't have travel expenses to go down there and pick him up. And finally, the Dominicans dropped him off at the JFK airport, where he was met by his attorney, and he traveled to Colorado, where he went to Abiding Hope Lutheran Church, and they've been big supporters of Michael. I believe they continue to support him. So there's a lot of churches. It's every denomination, you name it. It's every denomination. It's every walk of life. It's every profession. OBGYN doctors, dentists, teachers, pastors, all know about this abuse. My younger son said that after he told 12 people, he said he was never talking about it again, because clearly no one cares what's happening in that house. And this is what you have. And as I said, a young man is not so apt to speak about this. And that's what makes Haiti so interesting, because it tends to be more of the male abuse victims. Although recently it has been a lot of girls as well, as young as 10 to 14 years old. And it's very sad, because it leads to self-medicating with drugs and alcohol later in life, never quite getting out of this rut.
Damage. It's
damage.
Like killing the kids' future. It's oh gosh, it's so damaging. We can imagine. Valerie. Okay, now, so in other words, in a nutshell here, the story ends like Michael is a free man somehow. He will continue doing what he's done in Haiti, and maybe come back to Haiti with his allies, his connections that he has in the government eventually? do you think?
Well, so some of my friends are in the intelligence agency, and they were concerned because now, I was seemingly involved. Maybe perhaps he would see it as I was the vehicle for getting this arrest warrant for these victims. And you can imagine the things that I've been accused of. As I said, I was accused of all types of colorful things in that complaint, and not the least of which is that I was a gang leader. So you can imagine how hard it has been to fight this problem, with all the connections that he has in very high places. But he was dropped off at JFK. He went to Colorado, and my friend was concerned because we didn't really know his whereabouts. Homeland Security was not securing me. And so they said, do you have a picture of him? And I had the picture of when he was arrested. And so I sent that to him. And through facial recognition, they placed him at the beaches in Bremen, which was a walk to his house on the beach in Jacmel. So he was back in Haiti. However, when he goes back to Haiti, for sure, he's going to be looking over his shoulder. So I don't think he spent a lot of time in Haiti, but I'm told there's a lot of activity going on in that Bremen Beach area in Haiti as well, near Jacmel. A lot of activity.
In Jacmel, okay. I was going to ask you this question here. You didn't fear, at any point of time, doing all the work that you've been doing in Haiti, investigating Michael, meeting with officials in the government in Haiti? I mean, obviously, we're talking about Haiti here. Were you scared? At any point you felt that your life was at risk? You were risking your life here. I mean, how did you deal with all that? I'm sure it was a lot.
Obviously, yeah. So I have security whenever I go down there. I just was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I have very good security and people who really care about me, and I have security here. And I have to say, I'm not really afraid of these bullies. I think every bully is really a coward, and I think they're a coward. Anybody who abuses a child, to me, is a coward. So, no, I'm not afraid. But I can tell you that I have people that are watching out for me at very high levels. They're tracking where he goes and so forth. So they know where he is.
Very good. Now, the next question is, Valerie, where do you want this to go? What is the objective here? I mean, he's still at large. He has his connection. I'm sure this is still going on in Haiti. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, organ trafficking in Haiti. What's the objective? Are you satisfied so far of the work that you've done, going up and down, finding out reports and trying to get these people arrested?
No, I'm not happy at all. And my objective would be for the victim, because the first day of healing for the group of victims, the young men that have fought valiantly since 15. The first day is Michael Geilenfeld found guilty and in jail. And by the way, they want him sentenced to jail. They want him to sit in jail, and they want him to think about everything that he's done to them. So they're not, they just want to get on with their life. They want to have a good life. I want them to have a good life. They're great people to me. They're everything that's right in Haiti. There's a lot wrong. You hear about everything that's wrong. Corruption, you name it, you hear about it. These guys have stood up bravely against a bully with everything to lose, and they are still strong and in the fight, and they refuse to accept defeat. So, but what I would like to see is economic development in Haiti such that we don't have 750 unlicensed orphanages operating, making billions of dollars, and not helping society. They're creating little jobs, $300 a month type jobs, not anything substantial. And they're involved in all types of things. When I was down, I told you I was just down in Haiti, and I got a call. One of the predators on my list is a guy by the name of Father Mark Boisvert. He's at Project Espoir in Lake High. And he has he's kind of retired, run away, whatever you want to call it, and he's now in Lewiston, Maine. But there is one victim that has stepped forward in Lake High that has a case that's coming up that they are trying to get justice for. It's a young man, very similar story to the victims with the St. Joseph's Home for Boys and Michael. And there's a lot that's included. What I've discovered is, which I already knew, but now this is further evidence of these NGOs, these people with the containers that are bringing seemingly humanitarian aid in, but sometimes it's other things, okay? And let's just leave it for this discussion as the other things, okay? And these other things are causing problems in Haiti. Let's just leave it like that. And the people that suffer the most are the ones that don't have any money. So, you know, the poverty, the abstract poverty, Haiti is the richest island in the Caribbean. It was the crown jewel in the French royal crown when it was a colony, for a reason. The natural resources are incredible. They're just priceless. And there is no reason in the world why those natural resources couldn't be collateralized to rebuild Haiti. And I believe a country the size of Maryland, I've talked to a lot of people, developers, water people, sewer people, industrial engineers, a country the size of Maryland with only 12 million people, and most of them young workforce people, right? People that could go into the workforce that could help rebuild Haiti. I feel very confident saying Haiti could be rebuilt in 3 to 5 years, and that would be my dream, because if we have jobs and people don't have to go and, you know, abandon their children at an orphanage for a better life, that they're able to pay for their own food and take them out for ice cream and you know, shoes and soccer, and just like we would want here. And, you know, I said this from the beginning, what is not good at 123 Main Street in anywhere, in any city, any town, any state, USA, should be also the same thing for Haiti. And it seems like there's always this double standard. So I just was down there. I took incredible photos. I spent a lot of time in Port-au-Prince, in Carrefour, in Grecier, and in those areas. And the markets where you have children in flip-flops and bare feet on garbage heaps with open raw sewage is unacceptable. It's deplorable. It's inhuman.
Definitely,
and
it's crazy.
That's what we have to change, and that's my ultimate goal, is happiness. Definitely.
And with so much money donated to Haiti since the earthquake, and with the Petro-Caribe money and so on, my God, Valerie, your story is it's a sad story, I should say. But thank you for coming forward, and thank you for sharing this in Téléimage, via Téléimage. The viewers are watching, they're reacting. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of calls, and evidently some people will, not that they're doubting what you're saying, but they'll be skeptical. For those who are skeptical, because you said names, you actually telling the story with names attached to them, names of people, officials of the government, past government, Martelly, Jovenel, the actual government, people like Stanley, Luca that you mentioned, the chief of police whom you met back then, Gédéon, the actual chief of police of the DCPJ, you met them. So you've been saying names, you've been telling the story so clearly here that, and we also got to tell the viewers that are watching, we have a lot of paperwork that you provided here, a lot of documentation, court papers. I mean, it's loud and clear what you're saying here. But what would you tell some people that are watching and could be skeptical? They say, who's this lady here? Some of them, they may be reacting, and some of those reactions under the show, under the live here that is going on, could be, is she a CIA, is she FBI, is she a special agent? How is she able to do all those investigations and going after those bad people? Who is she? And they'll be skeptical. What would you tell people like that are watching and that could be eventually skeptical? What's your response to that?
So I'm a mother first and foremost. It's my number one job. It's my most proud job that I am. And I think there's no better investigator on the planet than a mother who cares. And I care. I know they're not my kids. I know they're a different color. I've been told this all along. I don't know. I was taught by lovely parents that I had, someone comes to your door, they need help. If you can help them, you got to help them. And I felt very compelled to try to stop this. I naively, at the beginning, thought if there's a crime that's taking place, which this obviously is a multitude of crimes, which maybe we could come back and talk about later. I thought you just dialed 911 and you called the police and told the police. But I'm here to tell you, I've spoken to every alphabet agency. I've put myself right out there. I put myself in harm's way for this because I feel that strongly about trying to seek justice for the victims. And I can just say that I'm a mother first and foremost. And I love children. I think children are magical. Children didn't ask to be born into that. They didn't ask to be born any color. They don't know color. They don't care about color. You didn't have any choice on your color. I didn't have any choice on my color. It just is. It is what it is, And I think we all need to. And I certainly think that Haiti, of all countries, the first free Black nation, the only successful slave revolt. When I go into the museum and I'm at the tombs of all the Christophe and Pétion and Dessalines and so forth, I think to myself, what in the world are they thinking? What would they say if they could walk around and see what they created? They would be so disappointed. They would be so disappointed that this is what has developed. And believe me, I've had my share of detractors. I've had people say I've had Haitian people say they won't help a white woman. Okay. I think that's extremely ignorant. And I don't know how else to say it. I think it's an extremely ignorant thing to say. This is an apolitical, non-racial problem. These are our children. They're all our children. I think it takes a village, doesn't it, to raise a child? And we should all be in this fighting as hard as we can. And I'm very disappointed to hear people that stoop to that level.
Wow, Valerie, thank you very much. I am listening to you. And I'm sorry, I gotta admit, I'm getting emotional here. Trying to hold on tears into my eyes. That's how much coming from you, a non-Haitian, carrying, fighting, putting yourself at risk to denounce this trafficking in Haiti. I just can't say thank you again from the bottom of my heart on behalf of every Haitian that are watching. Thank you, Valerie. We'll bring you back. We got to come back with you. And I'll share with the viewers the details of the papers that you've shared with me, the documentation that are here. We want to accompany you in your search for justice for Haiti, the children of Haiti, boys that have been abused by church leaders, people from the church. People claiming that they want to help. They go to Haiti and open orphanage. It's a big business, as you mentioned, $1 billion business in Haiti. And I think I remember the number, 700 orphanage in Haiti, illegally
750, only 750, and 35 are licensed.
750. And 35 are licensed. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Wow, Valerie, very emotional. Thank you for that. You shall come back to the show for more, and I'll promise you one thing. I will call Mr. Stanley Luca. I will call the director of the National Police, Normil Rameau, the previous one as well. I'll ask questions. I'll tell them. I won't tell you what I'll tell them, though. But I will tell them. Thank you again, Valerie.
Well, just know, I want to leave you with this one thing. So the seasoned general law enforcement in the Dominican Republic said, Valerie, you have a family in Swanee. What do you care about these Black Haitian kids for? And I said, when you meet them, you will know why I respect them and why they're my heroes. And so the whole way we drove from Santo Domingo to Igwe, we met at the Basilica there. And he interviewed them. He had to interview them. And on the whole way back, he said, now I see what you mean. One of them said, that was one of the ones said, why, what, of course we'll speak to you. We've spoken to everybody. We've been examined by 3 doctors. We've talked to a psychologist. We've spoken to judges. We've spoken to attorneys. We've spoken to the DCPJ protection of minors. Who else do you need us to speak with? Do people not believe us? Are we not believable? Do people think we enjoy talking about this? Because it's very hard. Every time a victim has to talk about it, it reopens the wound. So they're trying to get on with their lives. Mm-hmm. And they're asked again. So again, and this was 2 years ago, and luckily he was arrested. Michael Geilenfeld was arrested in the Dominican Republic, and then he was let go.
Unfortunately,
it's unacceptable.
Free at large, yes.
Yes.
And with the help of some government official in Haiti, member of this government of Haiti under the presidency of Jovenel Moïse. We got to investigate. We got to say names, and we got to go and point this, and then actually we got to talk loud. Thank you for talking again to us, Valerie. Thank you for putting the story out. You've did it previously with Claude Mancuso. It was a friend of ours. He's also, we did some collabo with Claude, and we're not done with you, Valerie. We will be working along with you to finally find justice for Haiti and those children of Haiti. By the way, say hello to your kids, your adopted kids,
yes.
2 sons that you adopted from Haiti. And we shall talk to you soon again.
Thank you, Valerio. I appreciate your time and respect for this very important topic. Thank you again.
You're very welcome. I'm going to do my little Creole here to end this interview with Valerie Dirksen, qui saute pas la avec nous là, qui mettait de l'eau dans les yeux pendant ma temps de histoire. Je pense que l'interview faite entièrement en anglais. It was done entirely in English. Parce que Valérie est confortable en anglais, il parle créole, il petit, même souhaiter qu'on arrive à comprendre. Ça comprendre, et ça qui comprenne, qui bien comprenne, parce que je jouette là, ballon en pied nous tout. Ne pas quitter une femme blanche, une étrangère à goumer petite nous on ça en Haïti, petit garçon qui a masculin, qui a abusé sexuellement, pour nous-mêmes, comme Haïtiens natifs natal, qui est sans dessaline qui a coulé dans nous, pour nous chita, nous juste garder une interview, juste pour nous garder. Alors c'est garder, nous garder l'interview seulement. Nous-mêmes, dans l'image, évidemment, nous avons fait une interview avec Valérie, nous demandons pour le nous des documentations. Il faut une tonne quantité de documentation que nous pouvons même fin garder toutes. Tellement de papier. Tellement de papier côte. Là, dans côte, les machines dans côte en Haïti et ici aux États-Unis pour capable mener vagabond ça yo dans prison. Malheureusement, chef en tête là, Michael Geilenfeld, li toujours li en liberté, la vie. Mais avec monsieur ça, il y a pile l'autre monde en Haïti qui est impliqué, il y a 2-3 noms qui cités là yo, mais nous garantis moi même dans telle image, je prends contact avec eux. On fait camper là parce que ça histoire ça l'aide en pile et ça qui l'aide c'est que au même qui saute garder interview ça, oui, au même monsieur, madame qui comprend en anglais que saute parler là et même si pas de comprendre, je dis à la kounya là dans moment ça m'a parlé avant pour me dire soit faire ça et au chita ou pas faire un vrai à ça. Just an interview, just an interview like the others interviews. I hope that's not going to be the case. Non pas me dire Saint-Louis, était branché.